Now, the real test of patience is waiting half naked with a paper gown on the exam table for 20 minutes, waiting for the doctor to come in, wondering what is really going on. Whether you're waiting in the waiting room, waiting in the exam room, or waiting to be checked out, let's talk about it. Now, there's multiple reasons why you could be waiting for a pretty long time. Trust me, I know nobody likes to wait, not even me. But let's break down some reasons why you might be waiting. Starting off with waiting in the waiting room after you've checked in for your appointment. So you checked in. We got you ready. They put your chart up. The doctor, the MAs, they know you're here. You're even here on time. But why has it been 20, 30, maybe even 40 minutes and they haven't brought you back to the room? What's going on? Here's something that you might not know. Depending on the clinic and the layout of the clinic, most of the time, the reason why you haven't been brought back to the room is because rooms are limited. I promise. You haven't been forgotten. They know you're there. The thing that most people don't know is that depending on how many providers are in the clinic and also how many rooms we actually have available to use for patients that day, depends widely on how fast we can get you back in the room. So for an example, if we have 3 providers that are in and each provider only get 2 rooms for that day and both rooms are full with patients in them, let's say the providers is in one room and there's one patient waiting, and we have a third patient, which is you, that just showed up for your visit. You showed up on time for your visit, but unfortunately, both rooms for your provider are already full. So unfortunately, you have to wait for one of those rooms to clear out. We have to wait for the provider to finish with one patient, go in the room with the next patient, and then we have to clear out the room that the last patient the provider just seen is clear and cleaned before we can bring you back to that room. And unfortunately, sometimes that takes a lot more time than we all would like to admit. Believe me, everybody is running around like chickens with our heads cut off, trying to make sure that we get everybody taken care of in a timely manner, including you. So even though it might seem that we might not be doing anything, or even the waiting room is empty and it seems like you're the only one there, trust me, we're busy in the back. And also with some clinics, there is a checkout process. With that meaning is that if the provider has additional things that a patient needs after they've seen them, the MAs or even the nurses have to do those before the patient is allowed to leave. After that patient is checked out, we want to make sure that before we bring you back to your exam room, that room is clean, sterilized, and properly stocked for your visit. All of that can take a little bit of extra time, which might seem like a lot more time for you. I understand. I get it. It's frustrating. But believe me, we're doing it for you. Another thing to consider is limited staff. This happens more often than you might want to believe. A lot of times we have people that either don't come to work, or they're sick, or just simply we just don't have enough people on staff, which means that there's more than one person that's working a lot harder than need be, and it just takes a little bit of extra time for them to get things done. I always recommend when you come to your doctor's visits to just be prepared with something to entertain yourself or just to keep yourself busy while you wait to be brought back. Every single time does not mean that you're going to have to wait a long period of time, but just in case, bring a book, your phone, make sure that you're properly prepared with your questions, or something to read that'll keep you preoccupied while you wait for us to bring you back. It is okay to politely ask staff what's going on or how much longer it will be to be brought back, but only after it's been at least 15 to 20 minutes. So let's talk about, you've already got your vitals, now you're waiting to see the doctor. Majority of the time, you're waiting to see the doctor simply because the doctor is in with another patient. Sometimes the doctor can be in and out. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer for them to finish with the patient before you. Sometimes the doctor can be behind, maybe 2 patients before they get to you. Also, we do allow for some time for the doctor to chart in between patients just to make sure that they don't forget everything that they need to put in the chart for each patient before moving to the next one. Is that your fault? Not at all. But at the same time, we want to make sure that everything is flowing and efficient as possible. Again, it's always okay to ask a staff member what's going on or how much longer, but usually after 15 to 20 minutes. Nobody likes to sit on the cold table, half naked, with a paper gown on. Trust me, I know. Lastly, after you've seen the doctor and the doctor says, I want you to get maybe some injections or some lab tests, or maybe even get scheduled, anything like that, and you need to wait in the room and you need to talk to the MA or the nurse after, you might wait a little bit after that to get checked out after your visit. The main reason why you might wait a little bit for that is just to give the MA, the nurse, or the staff member the time to prepare all of the orders that have been placed. Sometimes it could be a system issue that could be causing the delay, and sometimes the doctor just needs extra time to place all of those orders. The medical assistant or the nurse who will be checking you out cannot come in your room and start to render services without all the orders being placed by the doctor. So until those orders are placed, unfortunately, they can't come in. So not the doctor blame, but a lot of times they don't come in because we're waiting for the doctor to place all the orders before we can come in to render services. But if it's been over 15 to 20 minutes, again, I repeat, it is okay to ask a staff member how much longer. Trust me, nobody likes to wait, even me. And this is one of the biggest complaints that we see every single day in a medical office setting, because who wants to sit at the doctor for 3 hours? Nobody. But hopefully I was able to answer your questions to let you know exactly how the flow of things go. I promise you haven't been forgotten. Things get crazy back there, believe me. And due to technology issues, staffing issues, and also just the flow of things, trying to get everything done and working with multiple patients at a time, sometimes time can get ahead of us. But believe me, we're doing the best that we can to get you in and out as fast as possible. Speed isn't always the best thing. Accuracy is. So we want to make sure that we get everything done in a timely manner, but as accurate as possible. And sometimes accuracy takes a little bit of time. So please be patient with your care providers. We're doing the best that we very much can. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. If I left anything out, you know you'll see me again. Let's move on to the next one. Y'all ready? Y'all learning? Let's get it.